you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lands Forever. Today I have a 7v7 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the northwest, starting with Team 2 in the southeast. Starting off with Team 1's eastern player, then going clockwise. Got a nice little corkscrew manner. We have in Pac-Man Yellow, Better G Savopocon, or BSP, or Better G for short. He is a 1500 rated player playing as the UEF faction. To his southwest, we have Soul Ripper Noob in Glow in the Dark Green as a Cybern, as a 2000 rated player. To his southwest-ish, we have Active Backlash as a Seraphim in Chevy Crimson as a 1300. To his north in Tropical Ocean Blue as Mimics. He's a UEF for this match as a 2100. He is the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. To his north in Orange Color Orange is the UEF commander of Ferv. He is a 1400. And in forest green to his east is the best color and faction combination in all Supreme Commanderdom. No favoritism here. It is the 2000 rated player of Bannable Offense playing as UEF in forest green. And last but not least, for Team 1, it is Lieutenant Lich as a Seraphim in Royal Blue as a 1600. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 4 UEF, 2 Seraphim, 1 Cyber, and Team 1 lacks the Aeon faction. Starting off for Team 2's Western player, then going clockwise as well, and then kind of nice corkscrew manner. We have it in Barbie Pink, Team 2's Psychoat. He is playing as an Aeon for this match as a 1600, and he is, I think for the most part, always plays as Barbie Pink. So that is his default, I would presume, color choice. He is joined by Team 2's Northeastern player of Overrated Player. He is an 1800 in Batman Gray as a Cybern. To his east in Snow White is the UEF commander of Big Boy Daddy. He is a 1400. To his south, but he's over here to the east, it is Yoji as a Cybern. He is a 2000 rated player in Light Octane. Sorry, not Octane, in Imperial Gray, apologies. He is tied for the highest rated player on his team. And in Amethyst Purple to his south is Saizon as an Aeon. He is a 1500. And the player with which Yoji is tied for the highest overall on his team, it is Moi as a Cybern in Regal Purple as a 2000 rated player. And last but not least for Team 2 in Light Octane, in the middle of Team 2's lineup, it is the Aeon commander of Hollow Submarine. He is a 1600. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 3 Aeons, 3 Cyberns, and 1 UEF, which means Team 2 lacks the Seraphim faction, Team 1 lacks the Aeon faction. And for these 14 players on the map, let's take a look how much reclaim they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at only about 5,800 mass for 14 players. That's very stingy map generator. What is that, maybe 300 mass per player? That's really not worth the mass in terms of reclaim, but there are a decent amount of mexes to grab. There aren't that many clumped together, besides, of course, the main base mexes, but there is a Trimex position over here, talking about Team 2 side of the map, another Trimex and another one over here. There are a couple of mexes kind of dotted around this really weird kind of bay area, and there is, of course, 2 decently big water sections in the map. There's a northeastern pond and a southwestern pond with a couple of ponds dotted along the edges of the map. It's not going to be as intensive in terms of Navy as that other match I casted a couple of days ago, but Navy might play a role just because, especially with the UEF and the Seraphim side of things, those TAC missile launchers on board can be very, very devastating. We do see that a couple of players are making their way into Navy. Speaking of which, we see Mori going for a Team 1 naval facility, as well as Psychoad actually pushing in and going for the opposite side of the pond over here, trying to deny mexes. Unfortunately, T1 PD has been established and will slow down Psychoad's advancement over there. In the middle, we do see that Team 1's Lieutenant Lynch is pushing in and trying to grab the middle of the map here. It's looking like a 3, possibly 4v2 in favor of Team 1 on this eastern side. Nobody on either team has gone to the Northeastern Navy, and only 1 player has gone for Team 2 in the southern pond. So we'll see how much of a Navy focus our players do give it, but Like I said, I do expect to see something in both ponds in terms of at least some T2 cruisers at a minimum. First com-on-com action has occurred between Overrated Player and Lieutenant Lich in the middle, with the first gun upgrade going for Psychoad, second one here for Active Backlash in the north. We are shaping up to see possibly a 3v3. I don't really count Mui in terms of the land situation because he's all the way in the water. But, of course, he is there for possible backup. It does look like he's going to push for that dual mechs in the water over there. But it does look like with the assistance of Overrated Players' units, Lieutenant Lich has been pushed back. Of course, the Cyberin versus the Seraphim will favor the Seraphim because of the extra 1,500 hit points on board of the just standard right off the assembly line commanders. Again, murder-suicide situations can happen all the time because of that. But with all those units nearby, I think Lieutenant Lich was like, it's probably not a good idea for me to continue to engage. Mimics pushing in on, of course, the southwestern side. He's actually gone into the Navy as well. So both teams have had some toes dip into the pond in the northeastern side. Navy is being established for both teams as well. Vanable Offense is going for his team, and Yoji going for his as well. So we have a 2,000 rated player in the northeastern pond versus another 2,000. And in the southern pond, we have a 2,000 versus a 2,100. So definitely very split up. There's no huge advantage one way or the other. It's very even roughly for those players in the water. There's no 2,100 versus 1,400 in water kind of thing. It's definitely a nice little even match. We do see another calm engagement here between Soul Ripper and Big Boy in the middle of the map. But again, Soul Ripper not really feeling too confident. He is receiving a decent amount of fire from some strikers. He is sitting at, of course, 2,000 hit points less than the block standard Big Boy Daddy UEF commander. And we do see a couple of units have some nice little pathfinding shenanigans going on. Soul Ripper dropping almost about 50% of his hit points. He is getting some veterancy. Now Big Boy is on the receiving end of the outnumbering that has occurred earlier. We do see gun has been started for Overrated. Gun has been started for Lieutenant Lich. We do see Psychoad is pushing in against Mimics. Mimics pops out of the water very briefly. T1 torque launcher nearby will... Is that shooting at the well, it's pointed at the commander. I just don't see any torpedoes. Looks like he got onto land, or just was enough on land to really not make it worth it for that. Launcher to fire. We do see a couple of nearby units here from Mui in a secondary facility online. I don't think that's going to stay on much longer. Large group of units cut off any sort of reinforcements and retreat on land for Psychoad. He does have the speed upgrade on board, doesn't have range, and Active Backlash has the range and the speed upgrade all rolled up into one, which will force Psychoad back into the water. T2 land is online here for Psychoad, so he has a couple of those blazes helping to reduce the numbers of Thams nearby for Active Backlash. A couple of upgrades in the middle here. Stealth going on the way here for Rated Player. We do see Hollow going for his gun upgrade. Sorcerer going for his. Lieutenant Lich almost done with his gun upgrade. Lots of gun upgrades. T2 coming online here for Bannable Offense, and he has claimed the northeastern pond for himself and his team. Radar system offline. One tiny little sub remains, but I highly doubt it will remain that much longer. But it does look like Team 2 has now grabbed the southwestern pond. So Team 1, it's really turning into a north v south game where Team 1 is taking the northeastern pond, Team 2 is taking the southwestern pond. So it's kind of having this nice little not counterclockwise, but clockwise kind of rotation going on, where, you know, obviously one line or one side is starting to fall, one side is starting to gain momentum in favor of one team and the other. Lots of Team 1 units moving with the assistance of a couple of T2s from Psychoad, and it really puts a stop to a lot of that spam from Active Backlash. Not really a lot has transpired in the middle, except for Big Boy being completely surrounded by Soul Ripper's forces. Soul Ripper is at 3,500 hit points and Big Boy at 26. This could be a murder-suicide situation. If these units were to come back and assist the comm, that would guarantee a survival. But as long as one comm dies and gets below 2,500, there goes the other one. Yep, there it goes. It is a draw there between Soul Ripper Noob of Team 1 and Big Boy Daddy of Team 2. And that is a 2,000 rated player and a 1,400 rated player trading blows. which means it is now a 6v6 game. It is tied up, of course, once again, because they both died at the same time. But it is, of course, a disadvantage for both teams having one less player, but that means that one player gets another base. So it is a disadvantage, but there is a little bit of a caveat in the mix as well. Couple of PD try to be established here for Bannable Offense, but I don't think they're going to last that much longer. Transport with nothing on board. Maybe he thought there were units on board. There just isn't. Another T1 PD has been belt-bound Bannable Offense trying to get a nice little UEF land facility online. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Overcharge takes out the T2 PD. Now that T1 is going to be outrange. Overcharge will kill off the other PD. And Bannable Offense will probably be forced back into the water. It looks like he might be moving westward. There are some reinforcements inbound from Betoji. And, of course, Ferb is over here as well. In the middle of the map, we have Overrated continuing to engage the forces from Active Backlash with Hollow Submarines assistance. We see Psychoed as well getting into the mix. He's at 1-star efficiency. It's a 3v2 affair in favor of Team 2, of course, with Muri down here in the water securing that section of the map. We do see Bannable Offense trying to establish a foothold in the eastern side of the map, but I don't really think he'll get that much of a foothold just because Yoji is here. Bannable Offense is trying to defend with his commander. It's a Cybern v UEF affair still. 1,400 hit points versus 11,000 hit points. However, one has gun, speed, and range. One has T2, so more hit points versus more survivability, which, of course, will favor in a extended period of time Yoji's just more firepower. We do see that Team 1 is being slowly pushed back. A couple of Team 1 PD do allow Active Backlash to retreat undeterred. But, of course, it is starting to be a little bit dangerous in the middle of the map here for anybody to really sit here long term, especially with, about 12 minutes on the clock. A couple of gunships are online here for the possible air player of Mimics. He's at T2 Air. Team 1's Rigger slot player looks like it's going to be Ferb for this match, with the possible secondary as well for Bannable Offense. And another one, actually, for Lieutenant Lich. So 4 of the 6 remaining players for Team 1 are going into the air department. Team 2, we do see 1 is in air. No, nothing in terms of air facilities here for Team 2, just besides that one base. So Team 1 is going to possibly outpace Team 2 in the air department quite easily, just based on the numbers alone, let alone mass income or any other situations. We do see a couple of Riptides facing off against some Blazes here, and now as Salem is online, will we see the legs stretch out and go on to land, or will he just sit in the water and kind of have a nice little relaxing time? T1 PD not where you think it would be. Most players would put the PD in the middle of the wall sections, but it looks like Bannable Offense put it on the edge. Maybe he was trying to had a template where you could trick, because again, the assumption is you throw an overcharge in for the middle, it takes out the PD most of the time, but if it's on the edge, it doesn't take as much damage. Maybe that's why he has that template there. I don't know. Maybe he just spammed something down. I have no idea. We do see T2 is online here, or coming online here for Ferv in the northeast, and now Shield coming online for Hollow Submarine. He has range and, slash speed online. He's not going for advanced range as of yet. Active Backlash still holding position, doing a very good job of just keeping Team 2 at bay, but there's just more reinforcements all the time. And now Lieutenant Lich, of course, these are badly damaged commanders, one barely out of the green, one barely in the yellow. So it's just not looking super great. We do see a couple of bricks online, and that will just really upset the front line here for Active Backlash. Lieutenant Lich, it might just be a double kill here for Team 2 if the bricks continue to push. T2 Mexers being taken out, just as many units as Active Backlash can spare. Lieutenant Lich is the target. He is the weaker of the two commanders, sitting at less than 3,000 hit points, less than 2,000 hit points. This is looking like a kill here. They're not... Ooh, they might not go for him. Interesting. We'll see if that actually happens. Trying to keep an eye out on that. It does look like naval bombardment has occurred now in the west. Still, missile outbound trying to hit Yoji. Misses, but I do love the attempt from Bannable Offense. He has the missile launcher online. And it looks like Lich will get out of dodge. It was very, very not looking good here, but we do see active backlash now taking a decent amount of firepower. A couple of asylums shielding all these blazes. Blazes, I mean, they are nice to have, but it's not going to be enough damage per second to really kill off that commander. And in the east, missile outbound from Yoji going after mexes, I would presume, but there is a TMD online, which should deter that quite nicely for Team 1's Bergy. And yep, gets taken out. Even though I don't like the buzzkill, it still does its job. Now, speaking of Bergy, Team 1's Bergy pushing in and almost isolating the comm of Yoji. Yoji probably going to retreat and using the eastern pond right here, and then just, again, full sending it south. But it's looking very dangerous over here for Team 2. And again, it just goes to the whole one flank is usually better for one team and not great for the other side. So again, in this situation, Team 1's doing a lot better on the eastern, not doing great on the western, especially with Team 2's Mui having control of the Navy and now pushing his naval units onto land, and a couple of T2 units running around for Psychoad. So Team 2's winning the western game, but losing the eastern game. So it just depends on how long one team can hold the other team at bay. Because if Team 1 crashes and doesn't gain a lot of momentum in the east, and this continues to follow the trend line, Team 2 is going to win. And again, the reverse is true the other way. And that sort of thing. 16 minutes on the clock. Mass income, wow, look at that. It's very close. So mexes are being taken offline, being rebuilt, being upgraded, mass extractors, mass FAFs, all that sort of thing. Roughly at the same amount of times for both teams. It's too close to call. Team 1 is barely winning in the total mass accrued, but about 16,000 mass. Not really a lot of mass to be ahead. And again, that's divided between 6 to 7 players. So that's a couple thousand mass per player. It's really not a lot to be ahead overall. Missile outbound going for, looks like one of these mexes. And these mexes are being ringed as we speak. And again, Yoji just wants to make it out of dodge. Tactical missile has been started for Ferb. And that is something to watch out here for Team 1. They have 4 UEF commanders. So potentially 4 Billy Nuke launching UEF commanders, which would be absolutely insane. I think I've seen maybe 2 in a game max. I don't think I've ever seen more than that. Yeah, I can think of a couple matches that have 2, but nothing too crazy. I mean, having 4 would just be, you'd be having mini nukes go off all the time. It's like you're playing Fallout and just having, you know, a fat man all the time. You do see Moye is hanging out underneath the cruiser, because the cruiser has 1 TMD on board and AA as well, so it's a nice little best of both worlds action. We do see Psychoad pushing, getting a little bit of reclaim. He has the shield, he has range, and he has speed. Doesn't have advance, doesn't have shield heavy, but has at least something, which is better than nothing. Couple of bricks down the middle for Mimics, and Mimics doing a very good job of just wiping out this position for Yoji. He is suffering this game, but he has been able to push back against Bannable Offense and Bergy. And Bannable Offense not looking super great. Looks like Yoji's forces will fall back. Doesn't want to give veterancy to Team 1's comms. And it looks like, oh no, he's going to send the rest of his forces in. And it's going to be close. Bannable Offense is making his way to water. Yoji will get hit by a missile. Nice hit there. And Bannable Offense might have just, I don't know if that would have saved him, but man, that was close. Bannable Offense does get underneath the surface of the water. Bergy acting as a nice little bullet sponge, but Yoji pushed too far in. T2 forces are inbound for Bergy, and this is going to be a nice little counterattack and kill here. Unless Yoji gets some veterancy very shortly, he doesn't have time to stop moving and look at the roses or look at the sights. He's got to keep going. He did get a rank in veterancy. We'll get up into the higher reds, and it looks like he's going to get out of dodge. That was a very close call for 2 players, possibly almost 3. Bannable back up into the yellow. Bergy in the mid-yellow range. And AA going to be built just to protect against any sort of torp launching bombers. But Yoji now being burned and lasered to death by, well, not really laser, but just Gatling gun to death by some gunships. And Yoji at 300 hit points remaining is still alive. Nice save here by Saizoan, Team 2's dedicated air player. That was a nice save. Had they been there maybe 2 seconds later, that would have been a kill for Team 1. That was a great save. And Yoji's like, I'm done. I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to go. I'm just going to go. Just walk straight. Why are you walking like this? Just walk straight. That's way too much time wasted. You have not a lot of hit points. We do see a couple of Solaces online. There is some flak nearby and a nice little, not Barracuda, sorry, a Bulwark. Solaces are inbound, going to drop on that Commander. And it looks like they might actually hit the environment. They hit the shield, so it's going to save at least a little bit of damage. And those Solaces have been reduced to 1. There's another one inbound. And in the west, still Psychoad pushing in. Look at this. He's doing a very good job of just taking out Team 1's backline. Mimics trying to hold them off. And Solace is really trying to pierce the shield. Has 2,000 hit points or temporary hit points or shield hit points or whatever you want to call it. So it's going to deter a couple more missiles. And it looks like Team 2 will be forced to just fall back in general. Straka Strat Bomber is online. It has to wait till units get out of the water. And we do see Bettergy back up into the green as well. That was a very close kill for Team 1 and for Team 2, but neither is able to pull it out. Very, very close game here so far, but look at the damage that's been just devastating here for Team 1. Over here, Trimex position down. Another group of mechs is down. Harbingers, 3,000 mass killed. Obviously, there's probably more mass that the other ones killed. Lots of T2 gunships online. Will it get the T2 mechs? It will get the T2 mechs. Gets up to 4-star veterancy. The Harbinger will be killed off. That is a lot of mass to have lost. Team 1 now below 950. Team 2 1.1k. And actually, it drops to about 80 or so. That's definitely power related. Oh, yeah, that was definitely power related. So Team 1 sitting at about maybe a 200 mass deficit to Team 2. So again, it is a decent amount to be behind, but they can recover from that. They just need to take out stuff for Team 2 or just upgrade all of their remaining mechs to T3 as fast as possible. We have some Salems on land. They're actually very far away from any body of water. And of course, they have that decently ranged artillery on board. And we do see a couple of Zathuthams being built by Lieutenant Lich to deal with said Salems. I don't think they'll be built in time, unfortunately. Active Backlash is being pinged. I don't know why. And it's possible that these players are talking in some sort of Discord chat or whatever. There's not a lot of conversation. There is some. Apologies for that. My mouse likes to clip. It's actually, I forget what the actual button it's attuned to, but it's something to do with like last notification or something. I forget how it works. It does that in other games too. It's not the only one. This isn't the only game that it does it to. Anyway, Tactical Nuke has been started for Bountiful Offense, so 1 Billy Nuke is soon to be online. Ferv, it is possible to get another Billy Nuke for him. He already has the first missile on board. Mimics doesn't have any upgrades in terms of the middle slot. And, well, there's one more UEF commander. Oh, Bettergy's over here. He doesn't have anything as well. So, possible 2 Billy Nuke so far. Guaranteed 1. Team 2 has 1 UEF comm. Well, they had 1 UEF comm, but he's dead. That being Big Boy. We do see in the middle decent amount of units starting to form here. And Hollow Submarine has the advanced range. He has the Aeon Sniper Commander as well as the Shield Heavy Commander on board, which means he is super tanky in the middle of the map. Strat Bomber overhead. What is it going for? Looks like it's going for unshielded T2 mexes. And that's going to be a nice little 8 mass a second that Mimics is going to lose. T3 mechs might be the target. No, it's going to go for this nice grouping of T3 engineers. That's going to be a lot of build power that Bannable Offense just lost. He has T3 air online. Another bomb takes out a huge chunk of engineers. Oh, man, that bomber has a lot of kills. Mainly just engineers. Going to take out another... Oh, no. Oh, never mind. Okay, well, it looks like it was going to drop a payload, but just did not do so. Couple of Notha fighter bombers going after the Salem. Salem almost taken out, but is not able to get the kill there for those Nothas. And that Strat Bomber still causing a little bit of havoc here. Now for Ferv, he's the main recipient. Couple of ASF have now zeroed in. Going to drop another bomb, taking out another T2 mechs. ASFs will take out the bomber, but again, T2 mechs. tons of build power, tons of build power. I mean, that's a lot of build power to lose, especially for two air players, well, two air/Navy players. It really is a lot to lose. Nuke has been launched and successfully landed. Bannable Offense is thinking he is out of there. Looks like he's going to drop off over here, possibly due to the fact that he recognizes Team 1 is weaker on that side. He doesn't really need to be over here, especially with all the cruiser missiles online. For Bannable Offense has created a huge exclusion zone. The yellow, I believe, is the range of the missile. Yellow or the blue. I think it's the yellow is the range of the missile. So very, very deadly. Those annoying nonsense Governor class cruisers, especially, and the Seraphim as well. Same thing. They just are annoying to deal with. Get some loyalists though, and you can redirect the missiles. And if you redirect enough in time, then you could actually kill the things that are launching those missiles at you. Couple of bricks, couple being a couple three, if not a lot more than that, online here for Mimics. And again, Team 2 is being pushed back just solely due to the cruiser presence. Now we see mexes being built on the shoreline that once belonged to Yoji, and that's going to definitely help Team 1 come back in the eco game. They're still behind by that same amount of mass per second, 1.3 versus 1.6. Team 1 has one player that has been killed off. That was Soul Ripper, who was killed / drawn with Big Boy Daddy for Team 2, meaning they have, Team 2, 6 players left remaining. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. As we witness the birth of a couple experimentals here, we see Psychoed has a nice little Colossus online. I saw another message briefly. I don't know. I forgot who it was. I was doing my little conversation nonsense chicken online here for active backflash. And of course, if you haven't done so already, why not share the video with your family, friends, and your pets? Most importantly, your pets. Always got to share content with your pets. They love to watch, or at least my pet sometimes loves to watch TV. It's the very weirdest thing. They will just sit there and stare at the TV. And there isn't a dog on TV sometimes, and she's just staring at it, almost like she's watching TV. And it's like, are you okay? She looks at me, and then looks back at the TV. I'm like, okay then. You watch TV, fine. In the east, couple of bricks pushing in, and those mexes taken out, unfortunately. But again, at 918, it's not a 25 mass per second. That's something. And those bricks, I mean, they're not going to get a lot of work done. Transport, I love this. Nice little Continental bringing in some bricks. Oh, that is just blasphemy. UEF transport bringing in bricks when you could bring in Percy's. What's wrong with it? Oh, looks like they were spotted by Team 2. Or, yeah, looks like they were spotted by Team 2. Looks like he wanted to drop them probably right about here. But put some Percy's on board. He's UEF as well. Why not as well put Percy's? But I do get the whole shoot as many shots as possible thing, especially if you're going after structures. I get that. But Percy's, why not? They tuck their legs, so they're more aerodynamic. It's very funny to watch. A couple of bricks, of course, assisting with the pushing back of the Navy. And these units could actually just walk in and possibly take out most of these units, especially because there's a lot of cruisers, so no torp defense. The only one that has torp defense is the Destroyer, and there's only one of those. The Bulwark doesn't even have torp defenses, so those bricks would actually be very useful for taking out the rest of those forces over there, but looks like they're being called home for other matters. In the west, active backlash pushing in. He had his chicken. Emphasis on the word had. Looks like Team 2 Salem's took a huge hit. Colossus didn't even arrive yet, and a second one is online for Psychoad. And he is going to just keep pumping those out. Janus, the BP. Oh, Janus, the build power. Megalith is being built underneath the surface of the water. And that is a good idea, though. It will definitely slow the progression of the construction of the chicken. I'm sorry, the crab. It won't completely deny it, but at least will slow it. Overrated player builds an experimental. He's a Cybran. Most likely a monkey. It could be a chicken, but I highly doubt it. And it looks like the Nuke has been redirected. Nice grab from that loyalist. If Mimics is not paying attention, that's not going to feel good. And it looks like Mimics is moving. So he either thought it was shot down or it's being fired at him. But of course he's moved out of the way by now, so it's not really a huge issue at this point. Colossus has now emerged from the water, and all those lonely little Lobos are getting a taste of very, very bitter medicine. I don't have any issues with cough medicine, but I feel like they can make it taste just a little bit better. Just a little bit. Not too much, but just enough to not be annoying. Bountiful Offense as a UEF commander builds an experimental. I presume because he also has... Wait, no, that's Mimic, so it must be a... No, it wasn't a Fat Boy. It's a Satellite. So, 29 minutes in this game, and Satellites have now emerged, being 4 UEF commanders. One's built a Billy Nuke, one's built a Satellite. The last thing I'm missing is a Maber, and that's about it. Nano Repair has been started for Bettergy. He's UEF. He's going for tanky UEF commander. Oh, no, actually, no. That's a bubble shield. That's not a regular shield. That's a bubble shield. Very interesting play here from him. Usually you only see the personal shield, which you get 19,000 hit points from. The bubble shield gets only 5,000, which in terms of shield strength isn't great, but you can shield other things around you, which is kind of nice. I feel like the SACU bubble shield is probably a lot better use for that, but that's just my opinion. We haven't had an air fight as of yet, and looks like Team 1's Verve is doing a very good job at leading that. At least that's what it looks like. 115 versus Sizol. So, yeah, that's Sizolan's 128. So about 15 ASFs more for Team 2. That isn't a terrible amount to be ahead. Team 1 also has 2 additional air headquarters, not hair. So that can easily be spammed. Actually, no, 3, excuse me. 3 other players all upgraded to T3 air headquarters. So that's a lot of air potential. But Team 2's Regal Purple player of Mui, who hasn't been doing a whole lot since he took out the Navy, has now built a nuke. So that is very advantageous for Team 2. Team 1, of course, might see that with the satellite overhead, with the Constant Vision and Omni on board those things. They are very annoying to deal with. And that Omni is just... It's not great. It's one of those things where you just hate it. You love to have it, you hate to deal with it kind of thing. And just the cruiser spam in the east. Team 2 tries to erect some defenses, but it's just not enough. Shield immediately gets taken offline. No hopes of that coming online anytime soon. Couple of Colossus walk into a bar. -3 says Bettergy. That sucks because I'm looking at this game at 0 speed. So I couldn't have imagined the slog. I mean, to be fair, there's 12 players. There were 14 alive. That's a lot of stuff happening at the same time. So I get that the game's like just trying to... And a lot of stuff has been done to improve the stability and reduce the negativeness of the game in terms of, you know, especially the ASF fights way back when you move ASF and it's like But I get it. Billy Nuke lands. Doesn't really take out a whole lot. Looks like it was going for the crab. It misses its target, but looks like it took out a little bit of stuff. That was from Bannable Offense. So still only the 1 Billy Nuke. I'm surprised Ferv hasn't gone for 1 as of yet as well. I feel like 2 would be very nice. And is there just... Oh, okay, that's a wall section. I was wondering, like, what is that? It looks like a yellow, like the yellow dots like these. It's like sitting there on the ground. I was very confused. Just a wall section. Just 1 solitary wall section. Billy Nuke outbound. And based on the speed and... Are these units... Okay, these units going to fall back. It'll probably clip the megalith, maybe get a couple of bricks. Actually, no, to get a lot more. Now they move to the center of that explosion. Ooh, that's a nice grab. Takes out a couple of bricks. Better than nothing. It looked like it was going to get a lot more, but in the west, Chicken versus Colossus fight. Chicken gets absolutely demolished by the 3 Colossi. Technically, there's 4 over here now, but there was 3 engaged from Team 2. Team 1 is really just being hammered by those Colossi. Another chicken online for Lich. Another chicken coming online for Active Backlash. Looks like artillery has been started by Ferv. And artillery has been started by Bannable Offense. And satellite has been started by Bettergy. So now 2 of the 4 UEF have gone for satellites. Has Team 2's player who got control of UEF gone for... No, he has not gone for satellites. Yoji isn't... He went for SACU. Artillery has been started and is actually half done. It's been stopped a little bit by Sizon because he has an invading force of a couple of bricks. Look at this. Looks like they dropped in because of those Continentals. Another Billy Nuke lands. That's a great grab here by Team 1's Mimics. And, of course, it's been assisted by the satellite overhead. So this is a great, great grab. Tons of pigeons online, which means no shield, which means Pretty much no artillery. P-gens are trying to be rebuilt, but it's going to be a while. And Nuke is outbound from Mui unless somebody else built one. Nope, that is from him. He doesn't have a lot of power now. Where? Oh. I feel like that's a direct call out for that position. I think Team 2 really doesn't want to deal with all that PD and artillery in this base. It's a nice PD placement. There isn't that much AA I would love to see, but, you know, there's a decent amount of tactical defenses, that sort of thing. Unfortunately for Team 1's Lich, that nuke is inbound, and he's not going anywhere. There he goes. Kaboom! Team 1 suffers the next casualty of the game. A huge time between the first 2 deaths of the game and now the third one. This drops this game to a 5v6 in favor of Team 2. Looks like Mimics will take control of the rest of Lieutenant Lich's base. Possibly, maybe, possibly. He might gift it over to Bannable Offense, but he might just keep it. It's one of the... I don't see him going for Benergy, but... I don't know. We'll see. We do see Active Backlash is under a little bit of artillery fire, but again, nothing too crazy. Satellite situation here for Team 2 is not looking great. The entire base for Sizelon has pretty much been wiped out. Where did the... Hold on. Where'd that satellite go? It was overhead. Did it get called back to base somewhere? Am I just missing the forest green little circle that's somewhere dotted around the map? Maybe I'll find it. I don't... I see the one from Benergy, but I do not see the one from Bannable Offense. Well, if I just... should be able to just click on... Oh, it's over here. It was on the edge of the map. That's why I couldn't see it. I was wondering where it went. And we see in the west, Chicken confronting a couple of Colossi, a couple of artillery emplacements, trying to help. Huge effort to spam those things up. Unfortunately, I think that Colossus is dead. It's going to hurt a lot. And it looks like it's actually going to be fine, and those artillery are not going to live to fight another day. T3 is done here for Mimics' commander. We have the crab has now emerged from the water. Those things are just annoying to deal with. They're just not great. There's just so many hit points, and they have torpedoes, of course. It's just not a great day to deal with a crab or 2 or 4 in the water. It's not a good day. 2 commanders, of course, having a nice little hug session between Yoji and Sizelon. T2 torp launchers have been built. Well, that one's been stopped just to prevent any sort of telemasers. Team 1 has no player that can actually telemaser because they don't have any Cybern comms remaining. The only one they had, I think, was Soul Ripper. Lieutenant Lich was a Seraphim. Team 2 has 3, and we do see that, speaking of which, Team 1 loses another player due to just the pressure from these Colossi and Crab. Active Backlash will be defeated by Psychoad. It is now a 4v6 in favor of Team 2. It is a 2-3 game, meaning 2 comms for every 3 comms for Team 1. Oh, sorry, for Team 2. And a Crab is defeated. Second Crab tries to kill out Benergy's commander, but he gets back underneath the surface of the water. And those Percies, I mean, they take out T3, T4 units. That's what they're known for. That's what they do. That's what they're good at. That's their job. And Billy Nuke is going to land. Unfortunately, not the best placement. Because though, the brick's going to fall back. They might fall back. Okay, they're going to fall back. Because it looked like they're going to continue to engage the crabs. But looks like they learned a little bit better of it. Crab might get singed a little bit because it walked a little bit too far forward. Oh, yeah, it did. It did take a huge chunk of hit points away. And now we see that the chicken is defeated. And the crab is now outnumbered 2-1. And this crab is still doing perfectly fine. That one's essentially been newly minted right off the assembly line. Artillery is online here for Team 1's Bannable Offense. Second one soon to be online in the west for Ferv. And we see, of course, the crabs are pushing in. Colossi are being dealt with quite nicely here by Team 1. Chicken online. Looks like it was built very recently. And unfortunately here for Team 2, it's just not going to be enough. A couple of Ravagers being built. That's going to take out hit points very... Oh, look at those hit points just drop. Goodbye, Crab. I heard an explosion. Was that just the Billy Nuke? Yep. Hollow Submarine builds an experimental... He built another Colossus. Donut has been started, or soon to be started. Looks like Team 2... Oh, looks like... No. not the player who I thought would have air. 167 versus Fervs. I would say 170. Nope, 220. So now Ferv is in the lead. And there's even a couple of ASFs here for Mimics. Corsair. Actually, no, those are not. That's fighting against some Colossi down there. Oh, air fight has been provoked. The gunships were a little bit threatening here to Moi, and he took the advantage. Lost a couple of ASFs in the mix, but I think that's definitely worth it. And the crab has been defeated here over in the mid section. And now this middle line is definitely under threat. Yoji builds his own experimental. I'm assuming it's a crab. It is a crab, and he's actually received... Ooh! That was not great to witness. Artillery landed right before that shield was built. Salad over top has not prevented the construction of the artillery emplacement that is just finished. I feel like it is inbound for that grid, which has already been shielded. Great job there, Ferv. He shielded it before anything could happen. Love to see it. This over here needs more shielding. Needs more shielding, especially with... Okay, so I get build power, having to travel, that sort of thing is annoying. But Nuke next to artillery, next to satellite, you're missing a Mavor, and you have all eggs in one basket. Speaking of a nuke, Team 2 launches another nuke, I presume, and it is from Moi. The first nuke took out 40,000 mass, definitely a decent nuke there. And it's inbound for this position. SMD is not loaded. Tactical nuke has been started here for Mimics. He will finish the Billy nuke. So two of the 4 UEF commanders, which I will point out are the only commanders remaining currently. 4 UEF commanders versus 3 Cybern and 3 Aeon. So the Seraphim and the... Well, Seraphim for Team 1 have been eliminated, as well as the Cybern. And Team 2 didn't have a Seraphim commander. They didn't have a UEF, so it's just the OG3. Kaboom! Takes out this position. Mimics had moved before then, so he didn't die, but of course that opens the door for Team 2 to engage that western front. And it looks like Yoji has now reclaimed mostly his position in the east due to the pressure being relieved quite heavily from Team 1's forces. Oh, please, somebody build a Mavor right here. Like, right in the middle of this. That would just be... Just put everything in one basket and call it a day. I was going to say a baker's dozen, but that's not everything. And another... That looks like that's a Billy Nuke and another... 2 Billy Nukes land simultaneously. Gunships are inbound. The Colossus is... how do I put this eloquently? It's gonna die. This is not going anywhere. Colossus goes, oh, I don't like this. There is not a lot of AA. There's 1 flak cannon nearby. That's it. There is no AA nearby any of these Colossi. So, well, no, I take that back. There was 1 Redeemer. That's it. But it wipes out maybe a couple of gunships. The gunships wiped out 3 Colossi. So, again, couple of gunships for 3 Colossus. Oh, sorry, Colossi. That's the trade I'll take any day of the week. But the land situation not being super friendly to Team 1, but that isn't great, just receiving damage on top of a Fat Boy for no reason, other than just it sitting there. Donuts online here for Team 2. We'll see if that was a good play. Artillery has been started for now Hollow Submarine in a different position, so it spreads out the damage essentially to the shield. Second, nope, that's just a pigeon. Never mind. We do see that Hollow Submarine is away from his position over here, so he's not in the main base, he's over to the side. Is there a lot of S&D cover? Actually, there's one over here. There isn't one right here. There is one over... that should be enough. There might be actually a tiny bit of... Oh, there is an avenue, but it looks like that nuke has to just cut a very thin line, because it goes right... to essentially right before the shield, and then the one for Yoji. I know I'm distracted by shield. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it goes right here. So there is a nice little channel for Team 1 to exploit. If that nuke is able to be loaded, it can land and can take out stuff, which, speaking of which, it is loaded. Does it fire? Because it could take out this position if Team 1 decided to do so. There isn't an SMD in this position or even in this position, so... That is going to be a great grab. Nice little cut down the middle if Team 1 notices it. course, I have the benefit of pausing and all that stuff. No rewind, of course. Wish I had that. But the nuke is going to land. Where's it going? Oh, is it going to go for that spot? Is it going to go for it? No, it's going to go to the west. Never mind. Lots and lots of Salems. A donut. Oh, please tell me the donut blocks the nuke. That would be very funny. We saw that in a video, I think, a week ago. But I don't think it's going to. That's a couple of T3 mexes. Nice little couple of cruisers stacked up there. Bunch of build power. Kaboom. Again, it takes out a staging facility. Nothing too bad for Team 2 to lose, but it is something, which is not great. You don't want to lose anything, but losing a tiny bit of thing is not bad than losing a lot of bit of thing. One shield, of course, trying to keep this position online. We do see Team 2's teammate of Psychoad coming in to assist. It looks like that's going to be enough to give a little bit more survivability to that position. Looks like another, I was going to say another emitter, but emissary is online. Artillery target gets pointed out by Sizoan. Yep, he says target the nuke. Second satellite is online. It's right next to the nuke. Volatile explosion, volatile explosion, volatile. It's just volatile explosions everywhere. 2 emissaries targeting on that location will not feel good. Donut is inbound for the air grid. ASFs are going to go, no, nuh-uh. And the crash damage won't even get anywhere. It'll take out a T3 mech, maybe. Yeah, it'll take out the T3 mechs. That's it. Artillery online, of course, for Team 1's FAF. So 2 artillery online for Team 1. 2 artillery soon to be online for Team 2. Also, there's a third possibly in that mix from Sizoan. And again, no big ticket items yet. 44 minutes on the clock. I'm very surprised to not see that. Oh, well, there's a decent group of strat bombers there. That could be a big ticket item. Oh, artillery is just not it. Oh, a couple of mass fabs being exposed. Target that. You'll take out the entire area of this. It might even clip the pigeon enough, which will definitely not help things out. Oh, that is exposed. Definitely not good place to put pigeons next to a group of mass fabs. Takes out the shield strength for those emitters, which might just be enough. The emissary has now finished. Oh, they need to build a shield immediately. They're going to build T2. Oh, okay. Well, you can't build on top of a shield. T2 shield going to be built. T3 pigeon goes down, but more shields do come in to replace it. So nothing too worrisome there. And we do see UEF, actually that's Cybertech, not even UEF tech. Cybertech coming in to assist from these nice little SACUs assisting. Second artillery online. Emissary almost done as well for Sizoan. Mass immediately scooped up by Team 1's players over there in the northwest. Most likely FAF scooped that all up. And I don't see again on any of the big ticket items. Lots of Nukes being launched here by both Bannable Offense and Mimics. They're doing a very good job of just Billy nuking the crap out of everything on that western side. Essentially saying, no, you can't come in. No, no. Go away. With the second artillery online, soon to be third, I feel like that position. Mimics has been defeated by Sizolan. Did he get clipped by an artillery piece? Or did he get clipped by strat bombers? Oh, yeah, that's a lot of ASF sitting there. That makes me think. I don't see 1,000. Oh, no. Yeah, there they are. So he got destroyed by strat bombers. We saw those build up over here. But with that, one of the 2 Billy Nuke commanders is down. We'll put a little bit less pressure here now on Team 2's western side. But now it puts it to a 2-1 game. Meaning for every 2 comms alive for Team 2, there's 1 alive for Team 1. Third artillery piece is online. And it's now not looking good here for Team 1. They still have an air grid. They still have air power. They still have, well, it looks like they lost satellites. And they lost the nuke. And they lost the artillery that was right here. So not doing well so far here for Team 1 on that side. Air grid suffered a little bit, but nothing too worrisome. Another artillery piece is going to be built here shortly, but I just don't know if that's worth it at this point. Maybe game ender. I mean, Team 1 is sitting at 1. Okay, not 11K. 1.3K. Team 2, 2.8. with that kind of lead, not great. It's a 2-1 lead plus a little bit for Team 2 in the mass department. And Moy still has another nuke loaded. So he's going to probably just keep firing them till he runs out. And SMD does not exist over here in the middle. SMD does not... oh, there's one right there. So it does exist there. And there is one there. So there is some coverage, but it looks like it's going to drop a little bit short going for the T3 air headquarters right here. Where, of course, they are... actually, no, it's going to drop even sooner than that. Apologies. Going to actually kill off a crab and almost take out another one. Kaboom! EMPs that one for a little bit. 149 mass, sorry, 1,000 mass killed with that nuke, or in total, that nuke launcher. Dual artillery piece launching. Looks like they're going for the same target. Drop bomber stacking up once again for Sizolin, and they are going for that target. It's not going to feel good. Another satellite. Is that the same satellite? That's a different satellite. I think that's the same satellite. Shields are going down. Another satellite has been rebuilt. But I don't think it's long for this world. There it goes. Yeah, there it went. That was a nice grab there. Another Billy nuke has landed. But it's just, it's not enough. Team 2 is building zappers on the front line, dealing with all of the missile spam from Team 1. Looks like there's probably some maybe spearheads at some point that were sitting over here, but they're gone. Oh, they're also dealing with the Billy nukes. That's probably what it mainly was, to be fair. Maurice says can high up the strats. Use it, Sai, says Yoji. Oh, looks like Team 2's Sizolin has been gifted over another artillery piece here from his teammate of Yoji. So Yoji gifted it to Sizolin. So it is 4 artillery versus 2. Well, 1, not even 1. Yeah, not even 2, just 1. And that air grid is not looking good. It's named Charlie. I wonder if that one's going to name Bravo or something. The Mimic says, where's your scout? This could have made one ages ago. I thought so too. Team 2 isn't building game enders, surprisingly enough. Again, at 3.1k mass income, no one decided to say, hey, we can end the game with a game ender, and no one thought about that. Scout says overrated. Air fight does occur. It looks like Team 2's Team 1's SMD is knocked out by the strat bombers by Team 2. That's the sentence I was trying to say. Now the western side is vulnerable to nukes.
Strategic launch detected.
There it went. And then now you can shift all of that artillery to this side, and at that point, that's game. Overrated. That's funny. He is sitting at 581 mass. He almost is the player producing the most amount of mass in the game, just being beat by Yoji, and that's because he's sitting on 2 bases. Yeah, 2 bases. So, to be fair, Overrated's doing a very good job of just spamming out SACUs, and he just likes doing it. He's like, nah, I'm here. I'm participating. I'm building mass. I'm helping with shields. Perfectly fine with that. And yep, there goes the artillery, going to target this position once again, and it is not looking good for those UEF commanders here for Betagy and for Bannable Offense. There goes the nuke. Kaboom! Wipes out the rest of the air grid. Artillery offline. Artillery over there is being built, but it's not going to be built anytime soon. This one is almost done, but again, it's not going to happen. Oh, that's going to hurt right in front of Betagy. That artillery just gets wasted. Boys, I'm Al, most top eco. I'm confused. Bannable Offense Control Case. He says, I'm done with the game. I don't blame him at this point. 50 minutes on the clock here. Team 2 has 2 remaining players. The last SMD has still not been taken out. So once that's taken out, the nuke will come in. Moy should have one loaded by now. Actually, no, 334,000 mass killed, though. That is an impressive amount of mass killed for a nuke launcher. And actually, he does launch once over here. Kaboom! Probably at 400 now. Stop copying me, Psycho, says Mimics. And it looks like almost 400,000 for that nuke launcher. Too strong. Yes, too strong. We did it, boys. Top eco. Hey, there it is. 723 mass per second. Overrated is producing the most amount of mass on his team, individually speaking. Good job, Overrated. High five. I'd give you a high five, but can't do that through a screen if you're watching this game. You may or may not be, but who knows. Couple of Corsairs. Looks like they took out the SMD. Strategy might die to Nuke. He might die to Artillery. He might die to Corsairs. He's going to die to something because he is the last remaining player on Team 1. And I think he's going to die by Nuke. I think that's my guess. I'm going to speed it up. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. He's going to die to Strat Bombers. There's that 19,000 hit points coming in handy. The artillery is not helpful, though. Strat Bombers will claim the kill, though, right there. Yep, there he goes. And there goes the game here. 52 minutes and 22 seconds on the clock here. Team 2 wins the game. And MVP for this, I mean, there was a lot of moving parts. You had the artillery built by Saizoan. You had the air power also as well. Team 1 did gain that, to be fair. Then you had Psychoad really doing a great job pushing on the western side with Mui. His nuke, of course, killed off almost 400,000 mass. That was really, really big, especially for taking out a comm or two, I think. That one killed off a comm there. But look at this, Billy Nukes dotted around the map. Man, this thing just got destroyed all over the place. I think just Team 2 just out-ecoed them, outproduced stuff, and just threw stuff at Team 1's face. And it allowed the backline players, specifically, of course, Yoji as well as Saizoan, to build those artillery. This one would have been a little bit heartbreaking to lose for Hollow Submarine, but there were more being built all the time. So it was definitely one of those things where, yeah, it would have been a loss, but it would have been a total loss because I think Team 2 would have won anyways at that point. So I think MVP... I mean, to be fair, Mui pushed a lot on this western side. Got his Salem's online, got his nuke online. I just cannot pick one person that really stood out. So let me know down in the comments who you think you would pick for MVP. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will see all of you in the next one.